Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
In this week's episode of the Kindness Project, we talk about bootcamp, poetry, and we talk about modern poets.
Hello, welcome one and all, and those who are watching this during, after, I was going to say before, but you can't really be watching it before because we're sort of
before
live.
How can somebody watch it? What they've got a time machine and they've miraculously.
That's all the tenses, past, present, future, now, after, before. Sort of the natural connection of all things.
You've gone very philosophical very early on a Saturday.
It's not that early.
Lunchtime.
It's lunchtime. Yeah, I've done a boot camp. What have you done at school then?
Not a lot. I've been reading.
Oh, what have you been reading?
Keats poetry.
Keats.
Well, I was looking at. Yeah, I don't know.
What's your favourite Keats poem?
He did one about the nature of sonnets. That's quite good. I think that's the title of it. But I kind of get fumbled up with the language.
Right.
And so I prefer the more modern stuff with the language that I can understand better.
Well, give me your favourite Keats poem.
I don't know them off the top of my head. They're 14 lines.
Oh, I mean, I like Keats, but he's no Spike Milligan, is he? Let's be honest. I mean,
yeah,
Spike Milligan.
He's no Nikita Gill.
No, that is true. That is true because Nikita Gill's a poet of the last decade, and Keats was around.
She's still going.
She's still banging them out, isn't she? As she does with her poems. I don't think that's a terminology they use in the poetry world, is it? Banging them out.
Banging them out.
When was Keats knocking around, banging them out?
Romantic period. Yeah.
When was that?
Late 18th, early 19th.
And what was so romantic about the romantic period?
Oh, it's not really what it means. It has a different meaning. It's sort of looking at the power of nature and stuff like that, and sort of an emphasis on emotion and feeling and stuff like that. It's not necessarily romantic feeling, but rather just human emotion.
Human emotion. Is it really? I didn't realize. So what period of time was that?
I want to say late 18th to early 19th, but I could be really wrong.
Oh, are you Googling it right now as we're recording the podcast live? Is that what you decided to do?
Began roughly 1798 and lasted until 1837.
Thank you, Wikipedia and Charlotte, for searching that. I really appreciate the telling us when the romantic period was.
I didn't want to say it and then it be wrong.
Yeah. You could have said around a particular period of time, couldn't you, I suppose?
I did, but I still wasn't certain, so
fair enough.
Everything.
Fair enough. And who's the poet, Charlotte, that you read and you go, not for me?
Keats.
So the one you're reading a book on at the minute.
I'm just really reading selected stuff, but
yeah,
the language I get fuddled with, and
yeah,
he talks about, I don't really like using the structure because it limits my muse, and then uses the structure.
Yeah, he was. The problem with Keats, he was inconsistent, wasn't he? He was all over the show, Keats. He just didn't stick to the rules, and then he stuck to the rules, and then.
But that's the thing about poetry, is that by nature it follows some rules. But I think with Keats it was just you follow so many of the rules and then object to the rules. It was
exactly. He was a bit of an idiot when he Keats.
No, he was a good poet. I just don't understand his work, and that's on me.
Okay, it's your fault you don't like Keats. Yeah. Okay, who do you like? Nikita Gill, where else?
I've got, obviously Harry Baker. If we're talking spoken word.
Harry Baker, yeah, definitely. How about Eminem? You a fan of Eminem?
No.
Do you think rap is poetry?
Yes.
Or rap can be poetry?
Yes.
Who would be your favourite rap artist?
I don't know any.
You're not into like.
It goes too fast. I can't do the.
Yeah, no, I get that. But there is I mean, my favourite at the minute. I like Stormzy. I like a bit of Dave. In the Fire by Dave. When I was training for the marathon last year, was my go-to running track because it was clever, it was poetic, it was meaningful, it was a banger of a running tune. So it ticked all of the boxes. And I'd like to start, Charlotte, with an unofficial question of the podcast, not one that you've come out with, but listeners, viewers, whether you're consuming this podcast recording, I'd like to ask you, what's your favourite rap tune? I want to get that in early. So, what is the favourite rap song? You know, is it Gangster's Paradise? Is it Rapper's Delight? Is it The Message? Are you going old school? Or is it like the Stormzy's Mill Made Me Do It? Is it Dave? Dave has got an amazing track on his first album, Psychodrama. And I can't remember the name of the tracks, lost to me for the minute, but literally, Dave, I think, is one of the best modern day storytellers of any medium, but using rap as a medium is amazing. Are you not a fan of any rappers, Charlotte?
Not really.
No? Who do you reckon's the best modern day storyteller?
It really depends on your medium, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think
who's your medium best modern day storyteller?
That was so cheesy of a joke. Yeah, but I remember, like, we've had conversations before where it's like, we like this person because they are good at weaving a narrative, or we like, so like when I first started getting back into Lucy Spraggan, me and you were like, that's
she's a great storyteller. She's an absolutely amazing. End of the World is particularly good on that, isn't it?
Yeah. I like.
Love it.
I can't remember what the name of it is now, and it's about them going to this pub, or is it a bar? And it's
End of the World.
No, it's a different one. I'll find the name of it. I'll get back to it.
And we are here again live to promote the Climate Project book. I'm getting excited now because it is actually coming out on the 17th. Raz might send me a little text to confirm that, but I think I've got that right.
Oh, so Thursday.
We've got 5 days to the launch of the book. It's all very exciting. I graduated yesterday as well, so that was all very good. So I'm having an exciting week. Not only have I eventually got to my own graduation, and it was lovely taking Grandad and Mum, but I'm talking to you, Charlotte, not our listeners, because I didn't take our listeners' Grandad and Mum. That'd be weird. But it was nice to go along, celebrate the hard work, and I mean, celebrate the fact that I made it there before you, which I'm over the moon about.
Yeah, I've got 3.5 years left. Well, I'm actually 3 weeks off the end of term for my first semester, and then I'm done. I'm halfway through.
That's gone quick, hasn't it? That's gone quick.
And I've still got some assignmts that I've got to work on after my lectures are done for the semester. But
so question one, unofficial question of the podcast is who's the best? I've lost my unofficial question of the podcast, haven't I? What was the first one I came up with? I can't remember. Let's say who's the best unofficial storyteller of all time? Who's your favourite rapper? Is unofficial question of the podcast too. And then we've got some official ones that Charlotte's come up with. Do you want to tell it to our listeners, viewers, readers, all about those?
Readers? Anyway, well, I was writing these over a nice hot mug of coffee. So the first thing that popped into my head was I have a favourite type of coffee. I wonder if anyone else has a favourite type of coffee.
Tell us about your favourite type of coffee.
Mocha, hands down.
Mocha, hands down. Mocha. Is it the chocolate bit combined with the coffee bit?
It's my two favourite drinks combined.
Is it?
Who doesn't love a coffee? I know there are people out there who don't like a coffee, but I'm not one of them. I absolutely love a coffee. Who doesn't love a hot chocolate? I know there are people out there who don't like chocolate at all, which seems a little strange, but I can understand that some people just don't like certain things, and that's completely reasonable, but I really love them. And it just combines the two, and it's great.
So a chocolate of chocolate, chocolate man. A chocolate. I've done it again. I can't stop saying the word chocolate, even though it has no meaning at all. A chocolate and coffee chocolate and coffee combination is what you go for, yeah? Amazing. And would you go for would there be a flavour of the chocolate? Are you going for dark chocolate? What's the best?
Milk.
Just standard milk chocolate, yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. So
what about you? Have you got a favourite flavour of coffee?
Hot, strong,
like
wet.
bull.
Hot like lava, strong like bull, wet like the rain. That's my favourite type of coffee.
Wet like England, all year round.
Wet like dreary old England.
I didn't say it was dreary. I like the rain.
Well, the favourite start, or one of my favourite starts to any song, is Just Jack, Writer's Block, right? Have you ever heard the start of Writer's Block? And he's just got a woman going, oh, I'm sitting there having a cup of tea and just looked out the window and it was raining. And I thought, dreary old England. And then it kicks into the song, which is absolutely amazing. But
that whole album is just good.
Genius. I mean, Just Jack.
I know I can picture it in my head. I'm trying to remember which one of the songs in my head.
Well, it's got a number of amazing tracks. The most famous song from that album isn't Writer's Block, it Stars in Your Eyes. But the best Just Jack song, the one that you like the most, I quite like some of his more recent stuff, but the one that you like the most is The Day I Died, isn't it?
That's it.
That's not on that album, that's on his next album.
You always play Writer's Block for me, but The Day I Died is the sort of such a good song.
It is a good song. That is an amazing piece of storytelling. That is a brilliant piece of storytelling. So we've got what's your favourite type of coffee? We've got who's your favourite rapper. We've got who's a great modern day storyteller. Do you want to ask the next question? Because I'm trying to work out what your next question actually means.
So you buy stuff you need, right?
I pay.
And then some.
Butter beans.
Sure. And then sometimes you buy things you don't need because you like them, and they make you happy.
Like what?
Like stationery and dice.
So what are you putting in the necessity pile and what are you putting in the nice to have pile?
Things necessary for life.
Like?
Food. Sustenance. I guess there's the big expenses as well.
Food and sustenance, is that all you're buying while you're up at uni?
Yeah.
What's in the sustenance? Oxygen.
Juice. Juice.
So tell me a bit about what would be the thing on your list that is a nice to have, not a must have, by the most.
I bought myself some revision cards, and I'm very happy with myself.
So study cards.
Look at them. Look.
They're cool.
Look.
They're cool.
And I bought them because I keep having random thoughts during the day and then losing them. And so what I do is I have a random thought, I write it down, and I come back to it later.
Let me tell you about this.
Which is not a necessity, but
producer Wrights and I had a conversation the other day, and we both said we were going to get ourselves remarkables. Now, do you know what a remarkable is?
No.
It's like a writing pad, digitized writing pad. It feels like paper, but instead of you just writing on it and then sort of like having to use another pad or anything like that, it basically converts everything you write onto it into a digital document, saves it on your computer. So it means you can use it forever to write notes, and it just digitizes everything.
I think a piece of tech might struggle with your handwriting.
Well, we'll see about that. We'll see how we get on with Remarkable. I mean, if it explodes after I start writing on it, it's like sort of, it's not for me. But I've got 100 days to send it back. So if it does struggle with my handwriting, I'll just bin it back after a week and job done. But
yeah. Is that what you would count as sort of the thing you'd sort of spend the most money on, or sort of like tech would be your big spend?
Interesting. So tech's a big one for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what else, to be honest, because I'm not a travel. Spend quite a lot of money on travel, and socialising, I think, is probably my big one.
Yeah, I don't spend a lot of money on socialising. Like,
no, you do socialise, but you just do it on a budget, don't you?
Yeah, I spend maybe like $360 a week.
It's a very specific socialising budget.
That's the cost of 2 lemonades at the Union.
That's it. That's what you know. That's how you know you're going to spend as little as possible.
My big spends are stationery, and I bought myself some dice because they were pretty and they were discounted from like £12 to £3, and I was like,
so your stationery budget is bigger than your socialisation budget. Is that what you're telling us?
Well, this cost me £4, so yeah.
So it's your stationery budget has been bigger than your socialisation budget.
I think Russell is being sarcastic in our group chat.
Well, why is he being sarcastic? Producer Russ, what have you got to say for yourself? He's putting comments. Russ was in Fitz here, podcast gold. I don't know whether that's Russ's comment or somebody else's, to be honest, but we'll see. So, questions of the podcast: who's your favourite rapper? Who's your favourite modern day storyteller in any context? What's your favourite type of coffee? And what is the thing other than a basic necessity that you buy most of? Charlotte spends £3.60 a week on socialising, but £4 on stationery, big spender. And what would you name a plant if you had one? Now, what have you got a plant, and what have you named it?
I've got 4. I did have more, but I left all my fake ones with Soph.
Right.
I did buy one more when I came up here because I had a plant sale, and I had to go for reasons. And I was like, I might as well get one while I'm here. So I've got 4. So I've got 4 plants, and they've all got names because they have to. Oh, you're waiting for the names. Lavinia.
Lavinia.
yeah.
Go
on. She's outgrown her pot, but is too big to be repotted, so she just has to stay there. June.
Surely she should be called Seymour. There was Seymour the plant.
No, Seymour was the guy.
Seymour was the guy. And then what was the plant called?
Audrey 2 or just Tui?
Maybe, tell me you've called one of your plants Audrey 3.
No, I've got Lavinia, Martin, June, named after the month I got her, and September, named after the month I got her.
June and September.
Yep.
Did you get a book on original names or something? And then chucked in the bin and thought, I'll just pick the month. Christ.
Okay, I'm pretty sure half my devices think I'm eternally like having children because I'm on baby name sites so often for like character naming and stuff.
Now you're starting to worry me. You are on baby name sites often. Have you got something to tell me, Charlotte?
No, because like I do this thing with my characters where every character's name has a hidden meaning, and so like I spend a lot of time looking at different names and their different meanings. So I get a lot of like, oh, this means this and this means, and then I use those character names for characters. Yeah.
So what name do you think is the most underused in modern society? What name would that you've read in one of these baby name books to get characters names for your characters? I'm 45. I'm too young to be a granddad. All right, just to let you know, 45 is no age to be a granddad. I need to wait till I'm at least 60 for you to do that. So if you wouldn't mind waiting until your mid-30s, that would be amazing, right? Number one. Number two, as you're reading through these baby books to find names for your characters, what
Dad, you put it in quotation marks like this hasn't been a habit of mine for 5+ years.
Names of your characters for 5+ years. I'm going to completely use random quotation marks now throughout the podcast, just in completely the wrong places. So you say that your name is Charlotte, but
yeah, you know what Charlotte means?
Go on.
Petite and feminine.
Yeah. There wasn't much nominative determinism on that one, was there? Let's be honest. What does Chris mean?
I don't know.
You've not looked up your dad's name, is that what you're telling me?
No.
Oh.
I know that like Barrett means wise woman, and Lucas means light bringer, and Abigail means father's joy. And it's stuff like that, you know.
What does Russell mean? What happens when you kick a bunch of leaves, isn't it? I mean, literally, I do remember that joke. What's the name of the boy who rolls around in a bunch of leaves? Russell.
What do you call a man with a paper bag on his head? Russell.
Well, what do you call a man who would love to comment on the fact that we're telling Russell jokes, but he can't because he hasn't got his camera on? Russell. What do you call a man? Well, apparently, now Russ has designed to put rude comments in the WhatsApp chat that I can't read out on a popular kindness related podcast.
With his own name.
So have you, is there any jokes related to Charlotte or not?
Not really.
What a boring name, Charlotte. We should have
chose it, isn't it?
We've got boring names. Why have you got such a boring name?
Wasn't my choice. If you had to pick a more interesting name for yourself, what would it be?
Oh, good question. I'd have to pick both, wouldn't I? So I think you'd need to, if you were changing your name by default, you'd want it to like be, I don't know.
Yeah, because like if you had to pick like your main character name, because main characters have always got, you know, killer names. What would your main character name be?
Ernest. Eric. Eagle. Ernest Eric Eagle is my What would yours be?
I don't know. When you said Ernest, my brain was like, oh, he's gonna go like Ernest Wires as his like the full name.
Oh yes,
That
Ernest
sounds
Wise.
killer. That sounds like
Ernest and Wise.
no,
that
just
wouldn't.
Ernest Wires, as in Wise is the surname, Ernest is the first.
I quite like that. What would yours be?
I don't know. I'd have to look up baby name meanings.
Oh, here we go again. Christ, we're back on the baby names. How about Ernestina? I mean, it's like your name's Charlotte, because as we've already said in your house, my granddad said that your name should be Albertina. And you dodged that bullet. So that was very lucky.
I have an obsession with the name Araminta.
Araminta?
Yeah. It's the name of some goddess, I think.
Right, can I tell you my latest story name? So I went to graduate today, and the guy who was doing the introduction said, "Okay, just so I get your name right, okay, please, if you've got an unusual name, let me know how you pronounce it before you get on the stage." So I thought, right, I need to let this guy know what my name is. So he's pronouncing everyone perfectly. There was a Japanese lady who was graduating. He pronounced her names perfectly. And I'm thinking, as I'm walking up, this guy's a pro. He's got this. I'm going to say to him, Chris Dames, and he's going to say it perfectly. And as I collect my certificate and badge and all that sort of good stuff when you graduate. So I got up there and I said, just so you know, it's Chris Dames. And he looked at me, Charlotte, and went, got it, right? I was like, cool, what's up? As I'm walking in the middle of the stage, halfway across, please welcome Chris Dames. I was like, what? Like, what is going on? That is an easy thing to do. So I get off, sit down and go, I can't believe he's got my name wrong. No big deal. But I can't believe he's got my name wrong. And I wonder how many names he's going to get wrong apart from mine. None is the answer, Charlotte.
Well, you don't know that. He might have mispronounced them and, just no
did it with such confidence that nobody realised.
Yep.
Yeah, that might be the case. But the weirdest thing was, there was a South Korean lady who had graduated, and it sounded so perfect the way he pronounced her really complicated name. I just can't believe my simple description of my name had got wrong. Just could not believe it. Couple of things that I'm going to talk about before we wrap up. If you're watching this, the reason we're doing these lives, and we're doing lives sort of a few weekends now, because we did loads during lockdown, didn't we? And if you don't know, the Kindness Project podcast goes out to everybody once a week on Spotify, iTunes. It's an audio platform which we use to share stories of positive news in the world. You can find every single episode we've ever recorded at www.thekindnessproject.co.uk. And yeah, we've just shared amazing stories of people doing brilliant stuff for about 5 years now. Now, what I wanted to do at the start of the Kindness Project is write a book. That's done, and that is out, excitingly, on Thursday. So we'd love for you to pick up a copy, and wherever you're listening to this, we'll make sure that it's in the notes for the show, a link to where you can pick up the book, and make sure that you can read about how you can be a little bit kinder in your life, the amazing inspirational stories of all the people we've talked about who are kind, and and we've tried to make it really fun, entertaining read as well. So that's why we're here. I think we'll make this a short one, Charlotte, and we'll end it there. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely remainder of the weekend, and we'll see you on the Kindness Project soon.
Bye.
Bye.